a few weeks ago, I love the job that I do. I do college advising for high school students, and I'm also teaching at a community college. And an opportunity came up to teach in a faculty position, leave the job where I'm at to just become a faculty. And I felt this voice.
At the same place?
Different place.
Different place.
University I work, and this was going to be a community college.
Good.
To be a faculty.
Yeah.
And I heard this clear voice saying this position has been for you, created for you. I've had like that twice in my life. And I said, I'm going to start applying it. And then I felt it was going to be smaller. I thought it was not going to have or enjoy the power that I have right now with where I'm at right now. So is my perception. So I did not apply to it, and I felt depressed. And I went to see a medium I know, and he said, you know what? This position was created for you, and you missed it, but something else will come up, he says. And then, okay, something just came up that I am excited about, and it's only for 1 year from what the job description says. But, and I think then and now, I'm afraid, I'm afraid that I met with the first time.
Well, it isn't like any of that.
Okay.
Well, it's a little bit like a little bit of that. But the most important thing that we want to say to you is that sometimes you have to take a step towards something that you feel that you're being called to in order to stand in a new place with a new set of contrasting experiences to bring you more clarity. So the step that you took toward that job that you felt and were told that it had been created for you, what if the opportunity was created for you so that you could explore in a stronger way the idea of moving on, the idea of letting something else in, but not just any old thing. And so as it was offered, it got you thinking about what you had. You began to explore the easy existing positive matches of where you were already. And you realize that there were many things about where you are, and this moving toward this new position that ultimately didn't work out for you. The moving toward it did work out for you because it caused you to clarify what it is about where you are that you really, really like. In other words, there are lots of different opportunities, and in every place there are things that you like, some things not so much, some things more than others. It's sort of like prioritizing things, isn't it? And so the thing that we would like to say to you is that you're never going to miss something, and it's going to be the last thing that ever came along. And if instead of saying or feeling like I missed an opportunity, which makes you feel depressed, as you said, instead of feeling depressed, you feel that you were called, you stood in a different place, you got some clearer information and feeling about it, and there's always another and another and another. And isn't it better to work the vibrational bugs out of things before you actually go to all of the trouble of relocating and reinvesting yourself and recommitting to someone else, you say? We want to paint a clearer picture to you, to all of you, about how this turning thoughts to things works. You are a vibrational being. Do you know that? Vibrational being, in fact, mostly vibrational being, but you don't know that because you've got all this physical stuff that you can translate. You're translating the vibration into the vision, into the sound, into the smell, into the feeling, into the tasting. It's all interpretation of vibration. And it is real. It's a reality that you and others have agreed upon. You're focusing it into being. But there is so much opportunity for so much living of more satisfying life than any of you realize. And one of the things that's been big time for you, you've been there for a while, and you're revered in your work, you're appreciated in your work, but no one can stand still. You get antsy because you want something that's new, you want something that's different, you want something that brings new energy, stronger energy, clearer energy. You want an opportunity to weigh the pros and the cons, so to speak, of different contrasting experiences. Really, you all think that you would like to just leap from where you are into something that you really want, like Esther can do. She said yesterday, I want to get a little car. She just bought a big car and it's got OnStar and she really likes it, but she wants a little car that she can park more easily and she wants it to have OnStar. And she thought, I could make that happen today. She said to her friends, do you want to ditch the seminar? We'll go buy a car. Her friend wanted to be here, and so Esther decided to come too. But what we are getting at is there are some things that when things are lined up for you, you can just walk over there and do that instead. So there is a feeling of being human and turning thoughts to things instantaneously. And most of you think that you prefer that. And we like it for you too. But we also like you to realize that you are eternally becoming. You are eternally becoming, and it's the savoring of the becoming that is what life is really about. So you didn't miss that job. It presented itself to you so that you could focus and become vibrationally different than you were before it was offered. You summoned the opportunity. You didn't summon the manifestation of that job. You summoned the opportunity for a job that caused you to think with greater clarity about what it is you are looking for. So the next things that are coming down the vibrational pipeline are even a better match, and even a better match, and even a better match, and even a better match. And what we really, 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 really want you to hear is that if you are taking pleasure in the becoming part of it, not the jumping into the work, but into the becoming part of it, then you're always going to be a happy person. But if you find yourself wanting something and, oh, I missed that, and wanting something and, oh, I missed that, instead of understanding you're not missing anything, nothing is ever wasted, everything has value to you, everything is part of your evolution. One time in one seminar, two people came, not at the same time, at different times, to the hot seat with similar stories that they had achieved a lot of success, one as an artist and the other one as a financial person, lots of money. And both of them, in various stories, had lost it all. And both of them were really feeling sort of lost and broken because they didn't have what they once had, and it didn't feel logical to start over. And we explained, you're never starting over. You're never starting over. Just because you didn't take that job doesn't mean it didn't benefit you, doesn't mean that the existence of it and your knowledge of it and the offering of it to you did not benefit you. You don't want to turn every thought into a thing. Really, you do not. You do not want every thought to turn into a thing. You want to feel how the thoughts feel. Esther knew that this was going to happen because of last evening. They realized that there was a big event, not just a big event, a really mega big, not just a big mega event, a really big mega noisy event, drums and stuff, drums and stuff and all kinds of stuff. And Esther thought, okay, so I am not liking this very much. And she decided to do what she does when something comes to her that she doesn't like, when something comes to her that she feels uncomfortable about. And so she calls it the marble game, and we call it pointing out what's wrong, clarifying it to yourself, and then identifying how you feel about it. So in this case, with this noise that was going on, as they were setting up last night, we'll just tell you, Esther was in the back. She signed all the books for you. She thought you might like it. And so while everybody was doing their thing, Esther is in the back signing books, and the lights kept going out in the room. So the lights kept going out in the room, and she'd wait for a minute, and then she said, I'm writing on the tablecloth now. But the lights were going out. So finally she just got her iPhone out and propped it on her water bottle. So she had perfect personal light, and she just sat there and signed books for you in the dark with her flashlight, on and off, on and off, on and off. Well, then they discovered, who's turning the lights on and off? Who's turning the lights on and off? Well, these rooms are all hooked together, and these lights were all hooked together too. So when Esther's crew would turn the lights on, they would all go on in the middle of their presentation in there. And then someone would say, oh, and they'd go turn them off, and everything would go dark in this room. And so Esther is thinking, so that's not normal and not wanted. Not want it at all. So she's playing her marble game, and she wrote, meeting room without control, like we're used to having. Meeting room with who knows what's going to go on next door. And then the word that she wrote, the emotional word that she wrote to describe, was a feeling of uneasiness, but it was even stronger than that. It was annoyance. Annoyance at who? Certainly not at her staff. Well, at the lady that is in charge. Well, not really her job. Well, at the person that was messing with lights. Well, really not them. She couldn't find someone to blame. And it's just as well, because blaming only puts Esther in a place of negative attraction anyway. And so she just wrote annoyance, that feeling of out of control. And then she started playing the game in the way that it really benefits her. She romps around the edge. She's got 12 circles around the edge of her page, like the numbers on an analog clock. And she just began writing things like, it always turns out fine no matter what. Everything always turns out all right. We can figure things out as we go. Now, this isn't an optimum experience. Esther would not have signed a contract for this hotel if she had known that that was going to happen next door. But then she wrote, hotels don't know what's going to happen in every room. They didn't make them give a big disclosure about what was going to happen in this room. There's dead people in here. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. You brought your inner beings, and Esther brought a whole host of dead people with her. And they might not like that if they knew. And now Esther's having fun with this. What's the hotel supposed to do? Ask everybody exactly what they're going to do? And Esther thought for a moment, well, I could have said, are you bringing drums? Are you bringing drums? But as Esther romped around this list, she realized that she wants to live in a world where everyone's doing their thing. And Esther wants to get to the place where she's not having opinions about what people are doing, which are then blocking her from the well-being that is hers. She wants to have intentions. So my opinion is, yeah, it could be better, but my intention is, it's going to be great. And so as you feel that way about where you are, your opinion is, yeah, maybe you could have said yes to that job, maybe, but your intention is to get that and more, to benefit by what that was bringing, and to stand in a new place of attraction and receive even more, because your inner being is always calling you